I'm super excited to talk to you about a lot of things, starting with race, because it's going to be a really easy episode. You're just going to shut up and listen, okay? You think that's funny?
Is that the plan? Yeah.
Okay, so you're laughing now. You think that's funny because you're white, and you're inherently racist.
Yeah.
The idea that you would come onto this show and think that you can discuss race with me.
Unimaginable.
I mean, it's just unimaginable,
So
right?
presumptuous.
And I can see brewing in your eyes that anger and that rage that all white people have. I can almost see your ancestors coming through right now on my show. You're just going to shut up and listen, okay? And if you do talk and give me any feedback, okay, I'm going to go get a bat and I'm going to threaten you. But by the way, me threatening you and telling you to shut up because you're white is not racist.
No.
I am black. I cannot be racist.
Can't be done.
You are inherently racist.
Can't not be.
How'd I do?
Not bad. Not bad.
Right? That's where we're at.
No, we can. That is where we're at. Nothing is about the speech. Everything is about the speaker.
Right.
Nothing is about the ideas. It's all just about who is saying them.
Right.
He realized the irony in the statement that he made. Granted, he might have, because he kind of was acting super awkward the entire time Candace put on his front. Now, what's crazy about Candace Owens and people like her is that these are the ones who are so incredibly quick to swear that everyone on the left is race baiting. She's one of the ones who just absolutely despises it when people on the left paint people on the right with a broad brush, which is something that I don't like either. I don't like when anybody's painted with a broad brush. She is one of the ones who pretends to be against this leftist authoritarianism, which, by the way, I would agree that amongst neoliberals, there is a level of authoritarianism that is present and is oftentimes ignored because they're like, well, Trump is authoritarian too. And the right, so yeah, okay, that's cool. So both parties are authoritarian because they're one party. We get it. But the difference is, unlike Candace Owens, I'm honest and I can tell you that it exists on both sides. Authoritarianism does. The tone policing exists on both sides. I mean, this is Candace Owens once again, but even if we weren't even just looking at Candace Owens, how many people, what do you think all lives matter is? If someone says Black Lives Matter, which means that even if you wanted to say all lives matter, your statement wouldn't even be true unless Black Lives Matter. So there really shouldn't be a need to combat the phrase Black Lives Matter. But when someone says all lives matter in direct response of the phrase Black Lives Matter, what the hell do you think that is? That is the definition of tone policing. The very thing that people like Candace Owens and PragerU claim to hate. Then she goes on this tirade of, I'm going to talk about race. You're going to shut up and listen. Who says that? Who says that? I mean, seriously, who the hell says? Because I damn sure know it ain't. What? She talking about the progressive left? Because last time I checked, the only people not allowed to talk about race issues for the most part are Black people and those actually affected by race issues. Just like in her field, unless we can be co-opted for one group's agenda, one particular wing of the left and their agenda, unless we can be co-opted, then we are silenced. Which is, the same. That's why she does the song and dance she does on the right, because it's very similar. It's very, very similar. You either have to, if you're a person of color, you either have to be, for the most part, establishment leaning or a complete and total sellout, like Candace Owens. I am so tired of this woman always pretending like it is the rest of the world who race baits, when the only time she is even close to becoming relevant again is whenever she race baits on issues that are specifically regarding race, and then will try to play on that and build on that and just will nonstop talk about race for weeks because, well, it's already been proven that the right really doesn't give a shit about her opinion unless she's confirming their racist bias. Which, once again, let's be honest, it's not all that unique to the right. considering how many people were just telling us that we better vote for I don't want my kids to be raised in a racial jungle, Joe Biden. Yeah, that guy. So remember how we were like, nah, and they were like, you better, and we were like, why? And they were like, Trump's racist, and we were like, what the hell part of I don't want my kids to be raised in a racial jungle did you not understand? What part of literal segregation did you not understand? And of course, if you were one of the voices who spoke out against normalizing the racism of Joe Biden just because there's a D by his name, then of course you're escorted out of the mainstream conversation. This is not any different on the right. If you are a true independent conservative voice, and it is very, very rare, by the way. Just like it's a very, very rare thing for the left. But in Candace Owens' case, especially, if she was a true independent conservative voice, she would not be famous. Nobody would, like she could, especially if she was really, really good at what she does, she would be considered a threat. Now, I understand that everybody has their bias and their leaning, but do you think it's coincidence that PragerU only cares about race and only elevates Candace Owens when she's trashing black people and anyone who cares about race issues? Mind you, Candace is very aware that Charlie Kirk had to fire one of basically his second in command because she literally said F all those N-words seriously, in case you were curious. And I do mean all of them. I hate them all. And actually, he was forced to fire her. But he praised her as she was on the way out. And brought in Candace Owens for African American outreach almost immediately after for damage control. And Candace knows this. But then she gets up here with this nonsense. Shut up. Nobody was listening. Who does that? Literally, like nobody seriously does that. Nobody seriously does that. There are some people who say at times, just like, there's some people who say at times that, okay, hey, maybe this isn't your time. This ain't your part of the show. Like I said, now, I mean this shit seriously when I say, if you were one of the ones before George Floyd's death telling us that, especially black people, that we should vote for the segregationists, and then after George Floyd's death, you want to pretend like you want to cover it and put out these quips and these witty tweets and build up your followers as if you were an ally. Yo, do me a favor, sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up. This ain't your part of the show. This ain't your segment today or the next couple of months, because you were telling us to advocate for the same demagoguery, the same racism, the same ideology that allowed George Floyd to be murdered in cold blood, where the officer thought that he could get away with it with no repercussions to begin with. You are part of the problem. And so in that scenario, yeah, Candace, maybe I would agree with you. But you never punch up. You're never really punching up. You're never really standing up for black people. You're never really standing up for the injustice against black people. And it's funny because the one issue you do get right when it comes to the black community is the criminal justice reform. And that's not a surprise. It's for the same exact reason that Tommy Loren is actually a very staunch pro-choice advocate, because these are issues that have personally affected you. So of course, because you actually have personal experience in these issues where somebody close to you or you yourself has been affected, all of a sudden you can see the light. All of a sudden. Crazy how that works, huh? But here we are. Candace Owens being Candace Owens. And once again, you find it coincidental that as racial tensions increase, PragerU, from TP USA, aka Turning Point USA, aka Talking Point USA, aka I call it Toilet Paper USA, because they're shitty and all their takes are shitty. You think that that's a surprise that they gave her own show and are posting a bunch of controversial clips so they can get a bunch of clicks from it? And the first thing she talks about, first thing she does is race bait? Come on, bro. Who's taking her seriously? It's funny when people say, I respect her independent mind. She doesn't have an independent mind and she's never had an independent take. Has she ever said anything that you were surprised about after the first thing that came out of her mouth? The answer is no. Everything she said since has been perfectly predictable. Just saying. It's pretty obvious. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockman Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else,
More than anything else,
always remember,
Find your balance.
find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.